going to be talking about a cave in Lascaux, France. It's a little bit of a history lesson. I want to talk about our objective for today. Today, we are going to distinguish media and techniques that are used to create artwork through art history. So what does that mean? Who can tell me? What are those big words? Those are some big words. Let's dissect that a little bit. Zach, tell me, what does distinguish mean?
To identify.
Identify, good. Who can rephrase that? What does that, rephrase that for me. Put it in different terms. Identify, what else, Kaylana? Analyze, very good, big word. Okay, media and techniques. We know that media deals with the different art products that we're using, whether that's a paintbrush or paint, what type of paint we're using, the techniques we're using, the different type of styles that we're painting in, right? Yes? Okay, we're talking about art history. The particular cave we're going to talk about today was found in Lascaux, France. What continent is France on? Luis? Europe. Good. Anybody ever been there? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, you have, Luis, didn't you live there? Yes, that's cool, huh? I want to go to Europe. All right, so we're going to talk about that for a few minutes, and then you're actually going to get to do some cave painting today. Excited? Yes. All right, Gracie, you want to show a video for us real quick? Yeah. Jonathan, can you get the lights? All right, so what we're going to actually do is take a virtual tour, Mercedes, of the cave today. What do I mean by virtual tour? Are we really there? No. No. It's on the computer, right? Yes. Okay, so I actually found this link just kind of Googling Lascaux. But let's talk about for a minute before she starts that, how Lascaux was actually found. So in 1940, let's put that in relation to you, 1940, probably when your grandparents were children, I would assume. Two little boys were outside playing in a pasture. What's a pasture?
A field.
A field, good. What were you going to say, Jonathan?
Like
a farm. Good, yeah. They were outside playing, and they found this hole, and so they started digging, and lo and behold, they found this cave, Lascaux, this cave. And so archaeologists began digging, and they found what is now known to be the first form of art. Why do you think it's the first? Any ideas, Zach?
They haven't found anything else that dates back earlier than that thing.
Okay, good theory, good theory. I agree with that. Kaylana?
Because, like, since they believe that it was the early version of man, and since they could comprehend art like that.
Very good. You're good. I think what you said about the early version of man. The paintings you're going to see in here are of prehistoric animals and are of prehistoric people. And so that tells us that that's when this art came from. So now if you went to France, you cannot actually tour Lascaux, the actual real cave. Anybody have any ideas why?
They need to preserve it.
Preserve it. Good. What does that mean, preserve it?
Save it.
Save it. Good. Jasmine, why do you think they need to save the cave? Can you help her out, Louise?
Take porn?
Okay. They want to save it so people can still tour it and see it, but why do they need to save Lascaux? Why?
Have a reminder.
Okay, good. To be reminded of that art
So no, it gets ruined.
so it doesn't get ruined. Good. Louise?
So they know that the drawings are real.
That the drawings are real. Good. So it's being preserved. Only archaeologists and scientists can go down to the real Lascaux and still see the real place. They've now created a model Lascaux just a few miles away beside it, and you can go tour it as a tourist and see what it's really like. So I wish I could take all y'all to France and we could go see it, but we can't. So we're going to take our virtual tour. Now here's what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to the conditions inside the cave. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? The conditions.
How it looks.
How it looks. The atmosphere. Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it dark? Is it sunny? What's it like inside that cave? But I also want you to pay attention to, of course, the art on the walls of that cave, because that's what you're going to be recreating on your paper today. All right, go ahead. Hit play for me. the cave? You saw a mammoth? Mercedes? Horses? Okay, so this is in France. The French word for horse is chien. So we know 3 languages now. Isn't this cool? Okay, so what is it like in here? Could you imagine being in here painting these walls? Yeah. What would it be like, Quisha? You don't know? Do you think? What about seeing? It's dark. It's dark.
You'd be cramped. You'd probably have to get on your knees.
Probably on your knees. It's wet. Look, can y'all see the bulls on the wall? How do you think they took light into this cave? Did they turn the light switch on?
Fire thingy.
Okay, fire thingy. What do we call that? A torch. Good. See the horse?
Why weren't they scared?
Good question. Why weren't they scared? Would you be scared?
Yes.
I think I would probably be. Why weren't they scared, Zach?
They've probably been through it a lot of times to recognize where to go and how to go through.
Okay. Kaylana?
If they haven't been here, then they probably didn't know what they were or like what was ahead of them.
Okay, your opinion? Jonathan?
They probably didn't believe in any like evil creature like we do now.
Okay. Do y'all agree with these statements or disagree? Anybody disagree? Do you think that, so they're basically saying they weren't scared because they're used to it. This is their normal life. Does anybody disagree?
No.
Nobody disagrees?
They probably just took that chance.
Took that chance, okay? I like that. Okay, so who's ready to paint? Do you have some ideas of what you're going to paint?
Yes.
Okay, so on your tables, you have some soil samples. Okay, we have a couple different soil samples over here. You've got the same similar soil samples on your table. We've dug down a couple different layers of earth, like you've learned in science class. I want you to start painting on your papers. Okay? Think about some of those images you saw in your cave. There you go, DeAndre. Good grab it. There you go. You've got some different tools on your tables. Okay? Yes, go for it. Okay? Now keep in mind how they were doing this in the cave. The circumstances they were in. There was no light. They were probably on their knees. Okay? What are you going to paint? Are you going to paint a horse? Are you going to paint a mythical creature? Are you going to paint the God that you worship? Are you going to paint the agriculture that you farmed today? What are you going to paint? You are also free to mix some different types of paint or mud at your table. You've got some rocks. What kind of imprints can different rocks make as well? Feel those textures. This is how they actually did it. Mud here. So what about things drying? Think about a drying process. It would take a while. I like what you're working on, Zach. Good. Quisha's using her fingers. Very good idea. That's a very good idea. Do you think they always had a paintbrush to use?
No.
No, they probably had to use their fingers some. So tell me what you're working on. Jasmine, that's good. What are you going to make that into? An animal? Good. Why do y'all think they depicted a lot of animals?
That's what they hunted and ate.
That's what they hunted and ate. Very good. Jonathan?
Because that's probably all they saw most of the time.
A lot of what they saw. Very good. That's really good, Rosa. Alicia, that's good. What is that? Okay. That is good. Okay. All right. So we have a situation over here. Luis's paper ripped. What would happen in the cave if they had a situation where a rock fell on them? You think they probably would have had a substantial injury. They probably all would have had to work together to get that person out of the cave, back to their tribe to get medical help. Yes.
They probably would have gotten scared. Started going, ooh.
Yes, got scared. Might have done some chanting. Yes. Okay. So the different textures on his paper have created the roughness in that rock. Okay. So let's stop for just a second. Look here at me. I want to know one thing from each table. Y'all kind of collaborate for a second. And I'm going to call on each table. I want to know one thing you learned today. Just one thing. So, Zach's table, green table. Who can tell me what you learned today? Cynthia? Help me out.
I learned that people back then didn't always have brushes.
Very good. People back then, if you didn't hear, they didn't have the modern technology of brushes and such like we had today. Very good. Yellow table. DeAndre, what'd you learn?
It was the first art to discover.
Very good. Lascaux, the first form of art ever discovered. Red table. I'll get to you in just a second, blue table. Red table, what'd you figure out?
It was creative and I had a painting and their own paint.
Very creative, the way they made their own paint. Good. And you can still do this method today. Very good. All right, blue table, what'd y'all learn? Mercedes?
We learned that they painted animals back then, and we learned 3 different languages.
Animals? Why'd they paint those animals again?
Because they were mostly, that's what they mostly saw.
That's what they saw. That's what they ate. Very good. Okay. Good job today, guys. I had a lot of fun with this lesson, and I hope you did too.
We did.